Our Mark Salinger had the opportunity to sit down recently with the woman who is at the key to negotiations over the Colorado River water. This is the discussion going on with other states where the Trump administration is threatening to intervene. Here's his next conversation with Rebecca Mitchell.
What do you need to see from the lower basin states, or what needs to happen?
The deadline is not what I am afraid of. I continue to be, what I'm afraid of is inaction or non-response to what Mother Nature is telling us. That's the bigger fear, is that we don't all respond. And so what I'd like to see is a framework into the future that looks at what's actually happening, what the math is telling us. And that's what I want to see from the lower basin is, do you have a plan to respond when the water isn't there?
The 7 states negotiating how to divide up the Colorado River water have blown through several deadlines. The upper basin states of Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming want the lower basin states of Arizona, Nevada, and California to stop draining the reservoirs of Lake Mead and Lake Powell and enact stricter water-saving measures. If no deal is reached by the end of September, when the current rules expire, the Trump administration will step in and administer the rules.
Are the lower basin states using too much water?
Yes. The answer is absolutely yes. And the science and the data show that. When you look at our uses versus their uses, particularly over the last 20 to 25 years, we average about a little over 4 million acre feet per year. The lower basin is averaging over 11 million acre feet per year. And so when we talk about how do we solve this problem, we solve it that way.
Would it be bad for Colorado if the federal government came in and administered the rules and created the rules because the 7 states were not able to come to an agreement?
I think what would be bad about it is that we've been able to operate in a collaborative way across the 7 basin states. And I think once we hit that trip line, we may never be able to come back to being able to operate in flexible ways, and I think that's the downside.
As a society in Colorado need to change because of the lack of water.
This isn't a crisis of this year or last year or the year before. This has been something that we've seen coming. When we say this isn't a problem, this is a problem that we didn't cause, it's because we truly didn't. The problem is at the reservoirs. The reservoirs are close to empty.
And that's because the lower basin states are using too much.
They have drained them. And what it says is that more is going out of those reservoirs than is coming in. That is simple math. We have always faced shortages in some place in the state. And I think that's something to recognize. We've gotten through it. We've always been able to get through it. We need to be prepared to live with less. We need to be prepared to live with less when it's not there. We need everyone.
Mitchell's asking for mediation to help the states come to an agreement. If the federal government takes over, she says litigation is very likely.